Hello everybody, I hope you are well. I am coming in with a new, as you can see, a new demo for my Drawing with Color class. This class has about 3 units. I want to call it 3 units. So we're in the process of our color pencil unit. Now we're moving into our pastel unit. So for this first part of our pastel unit, I am going to start with a underpainting for my pastel drawing. So in Drawing with Color, we have an assignment that's pretty much self-driven for students. These students are able to bring in whatever type of image that they want to bring in that is related to landscapes, cityscapes, so on and so forth. I've also given them the option to bring in any type of image that they feel comfortable with drawing other than a landscape. So I know not everybody may want to render that out in pastels, but the initial assignment is bringing in a landscape, cityscape, beachscape, whatever you feel more comfortable with doing. So in this demo, I am going to do a simple, very, very, very simple landscape. I'm going to start with just the basics of this landscape, and that's getting the underpainting down. So I want to establish my light logic principles, and I also want to establish at least the temperature of the lighting. So just really quick before I get started, I definitely want to talk just a bit about some of my materials that I am using. I'm going to do my best to insert my materials into the video, but I'm starting with a General's pastel, chalk pastel. So hopefully, let me see if you guys can actually see this and if it's zooming in on it. So my camera is probably going to be focusing in and out, probably because I have not did any type of correction to the autofocus. It's still on autofocus, but you should be able to see this. So I'm using pastel chalk, and I'm using indigo blue. Typically, I would tell students to use more of a true blue or actual blue for their underpainting. I don't have any more of my true blue. I need to go shopping, so I'm using my indigo blue for my set. Another thing I am using, and really before I move on to the next, I am strictly using this for drawing purposes, just getting the drawing down, and that is it. Also, I am going to use New Pastel, so hopefully you guys can see this. This is kind of a true blue for New Pastel. New Pastel is a harder pastel. I use New Pastel is basically and it's basically Prismacolor New Pastel. Get that correct, Jerry. Prismacolor New Pastel. So I'm using Prismacolor New Pastel, and I'm using the true blue, or the blue that's as true as possible, that doesn't lean too much towards the red side, to the best of my ability. And I believe this is the true blue. It may not be because I grabbed what I could, what I seen in my studio. And this looks like it has a little bit of red in it, but I think it will get the job done today. Also, I want to talk just a little bit about sharpening my pencil. So pastels are notorious for kind of breaking on you when you're sharpening. I like to use handheld sharpeners. This is a really good one that I bought from Creative Color, and I love it. It has at least 2 different sizes that are here that you can use, and I love it for these pastel pencils. I don't have to worry about at least my lead breaking while I'm sharpening. So I wanted to talk just a little bit about the materials that I am using. Very simple materials for this underpainting, and really all it is today, I'm just going to get my drawing down, and then I'm going to get get my drawing down, get a separation of light part and dark part, and establish the temperature of the actual light. So once again, I have a very simple landscape. I'm going to insert the photo so you guys can see it and have an idea of what I am going to do. So I'm going to get quiet and I'm going to get this done. All right, you guys. Hey everyone, I just wanted to pop in really quick just to discuss a few things I didn't discuss in my intro like a crazy person. So I wanted to talk about my paper. That's the one thing I didn't talk about. I did put it in the insert, but the insert of the materials photo, and I realized that I need to talk just a little bit about it. So my drawing with color class, they have Canson, I think it's pronounced Canson's Metons pastel paper, and I am using pastel matte. So my students know that although I believe the Canson Metons paper, I believe it's a really good paper for students that are learning. Great for that, great for finances. It's not really crazy expensive. My students definitely do know that I prefer the pastel matte to work on with my pastels. I choose not to force my students to pay for that paper because it's very expensive. But I absolutely love the pastel matte. Love it, love it, love it, love it. So I definitely just want to say I'm so sorry, students. I know I said that I was going to use all the materials that you're using, but this is the one thing I can't I can't stop using. So if you are pretty far along in your pastel journey, I would suggest, try out the pastel matte. It would definitely change your life. So another thing I wanted to talk about just really fast before my time lapse of this drawing is over, I want to talk about just my process. So as you can see, I am quickly getting down the shapes of things, the trees, the tree branches, I think it's the bark. One of the two. And you can see I'm getting the base of the hill as well as the hill in general. So I'm keeping my shapes very basic. And I noticed in this process that one of my trees is leaning to the side, and all honesty, I'm going to do my best when I start to paint to straighten that tree out. I don't really like the composition when it leaning to the side, but just wanted to say that because it's bothering me. So the one thing you want to do is just start with basic shapes for everything. Get everything placed in the spots that you need it. Then once you have everything placed, you want to go in and separate light part from dark part. One of the reasons why I chose this color paper is because this color paper is very close to, I'm assuming that's the grass, and the color and also the warmth, the temperature. Also, when it comes to the temperature of the paper, majority of this image is blue. And I'm assuming there is a warm light because I personally feel like the light mass is very warm in the leaves of the trees. So that's another reason why I chose this color. Hopefully I can let this color of paper shine through and not cover everything on my pastel landscape. But as you can see, I'm separating the light part from dark part for everything, the trees as well as the hill. I get some separation light part and dark part in the grass, as well as not so much a separation light part and dark part, but just a bit of a gradation value in the sky. So I don't know how much of this I'm going to stay true to reference, or if I want to add more color, or if I want to change some things. I'm already cropping out a tree, as you can see, and I'm okay with that. Totally okay with that. So before this becomes a long story, I'm gonna go ahead and end it here and allow you guys to finish watching the demo. Bye guys, see you in the next video.